Criminal cases have been dismissed in Boston. The reason, they could not find them a court-appointed attorney.
However, several involved assaults on police officers, domestic violence assaults, and the use of dangerous weapons.
People are going to get hurt. Robberies are going to take place by guys who were already in jail, and now they're out.
We are the safest major city in the country.
The lawmakers in Massachusetts are set to get an 11% pay raise in 2025. You heard that right.
Michelle Wu, what we gonna do with you, Michelle Wu? We're back, everybody. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. We're gonna be talking about Michelle Wu, the illustrious mayor of one of the safest sanctuary cities in the solar system, in the multiverse, is Michelle Wu. And yeah, I mean, her leadership,
sensational.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sensational. Her leadership is fantastic. When we look at the budget of Boston,
I have nothing.
It's staggering. It's staggering when you look at like the leadership and how she's leading Boston into the new millennium. She's leading Boston into a new generation of prosperity and so forth like that.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
There's just no way that you can look at this and say, man, why do I not live in Boston? Why do I not live in Boston? Because I'm not crazy. That's why. So we're going to look at it today. And remember this spring when Michelle Wu went up to Washington, D.C., and she was hammered in a hearing about how they're spending their money in their budget. And she didn't even know. I have no clue how much money is being spent, but we have enough and we could use some more. It was crazy. Well, look at what happened.
100 criminal cases have been dismissed in Boston. The reason, they could not find them a court-appointed attorney. The reason this is happening is because since May 27th, multiple attorneys known as bar advocates have been refusing to take court-appointed cases for criminal defendants. And right now, bar advocates are being paid approximately $65 an hour in district court and $85 an hour in superior court. This is way below the payments for other court-appointed attorneys in nearby states. Now, this has been a problem for many years, and it's only going to get worse, and more attorneys are joining the boycott. So I would ask the governor and the legislature to act. Anything less than $35 an hour across the board is unacceptable. This is even for Massachusetts, that's way too low, but at least it'll give us a dignified living. Bar advocates cannot continue absorbing this volume of clients. We do 80% of all the court-appointed work in the state of Massachusetts. So it's time for some leadership, or otherwise people are going to get hurt if we do not resolve it.
Okay, it's interesting because, you know, Massachusetts is that one that wants to raise the minimum wage. And a lot of people have said this, that, hey, when you raise the minimum wage on the very basic, you know, the former $9 an hour jobs, it's going to raise them up to 15. So that's a $6 spread, $6 increase. Well, when you do that, what about the person that was already making $15 an hour? They've been working at the fast food place for a couple of years. They got a couple promotions, couple of and such like that. And they were already making 15. Are they going to stay at 15? Well, no, they're going to probably have to get bumped up as well. And so in order to keep them, otherwise they're going to go somewhere else. So now you're going to see a increase in inflation, if you will, of salaries. My question is, did they do this for any of their public defenders? Because I see you wagging your finger at the Chick-fil-A and the Zaxby's employees and franchisees. But what about y'all? It sounds like they didn't. Okay, let's go.
More than 100 criminal cases now dismissed as public defenders refuse to take on new cases in a dispute over money. At Boston Municipal Court in a special hearing, Chief Justice Tracy Lee Lyons dismisses more than 100 criminal cases. The action taken as public defenders' work stoppage in a dispute over wages takes a dramatic turn.
This case will be dismissed. The
without prejudice.
This legal crisis began in May when court-appointed attorneys stopped taking on new cases, saying the state's $65 an hour rate is an unlivable wage. They say neighboring states pay their public defenders twice as much. And
Our advocates
Whoa,
are
so
being
$65
say
an hour.
neighboring states pay their public
$65 an hour is an unlivable wage. Neighboring states pay, if $65 an hour is too little, and they say they pay twice as much, they're paying $130 an hour. Y'all, I'm in the wrong field. I am in the wrong field. Down in the comments, y'all say wrong field.
defenders
Gracious.
twice as much. And SJC Justice ordered the release of any indigent defendant held longer than 7 days. And she ruled that all charges be dropped if any indigent defendant case is older than 45 days. At BMC, most of the charges dropped were for nonviolent crimes. However, several involved assaults on police officers, domestic violence assaults, and the use of dangerous weapons. In Fall River, Governor Healy called for lawmakers to act.
This is a matter of public safety, and so they've got to sort this out and resolve this.
Boston defense attorney Phil Tracy agrees that something has to change.
People are going to get hurt. Wives, robberies are going to take place by guys who were already in jail, and now they're out.
We are the safest major city in the country because our gun laws are the strongest in the nation, because our officers have built relationships over decades, and because all of our residents can trust that when they call 911 in the event of an emergency or to report a crime, help will come.
So this year's budget doubles down on our work to make Boston a home for everyone. We're protecting critical city services and continuing to deliver progress on public education and programming for our young people and seniors, community safety and public health, climate resilience and transportation, housing affordability and economic opportunity. Our budget embodies the balance point to prepare for the worst case scenarios from federal policies causing economic uncertainty, while not jumping ahead to assume the worst and slash city services that are especially necessary in this moment.
The lawmakers in Massachusetts are set to get an 11% pay raise in 2025. You heard that right. This is more than double the 4.42%, if I remember from memory, that they got in 2023. And look, to a point I could understand, these raises are tied to the changes in the state's median income. However, an 11% jump seems pretty massive to me. I don't know what you guys think. I don't think people in the real world are seeing a pay raise jump like that. My friends, I don't see that being humanly possible. But here's where it gets interesting, and I'm going to share this article from the Herald. So voters, you guys, overwhelmingly passed a law saying that the state legislature has to open up their books for an audit. Okay, for an audit. But it seems like some of the lawmakers are stalling. Of course they are.
WBZ Chief Investigator Cheryl Fiandaca just obtained records showing how much taxpayers shelled out.
Well, Courtney and Lisa, it was a lot. Between November of last year and June of this year, the special prosecutor in the case was paid more than $500,000 in legal fees alone.
She drove away.
The Norfolk County District Attorney hired a top-tier private lawyer, Hank Brennan, to prosecute the case in the retrial. Invoices obtained by the I-Team show Brennan put in hundreds of hours of work and was paid $566,000. That does not include any payments to experts, outside investigators, or outside testing. Reed was charged with killing her Boston police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe, back in 2022. A mistrial was declared after jurors were unable to reach a verdict in her first trial. In the retrial, Reed was found not guilty of the most serious charges and guilty of drunk driving. Brennan charged $250 an hour. The I-Team also asked for additional records involving the other costs associated with the case.
Wait, $250 an hour, and the public defenders make $65 an hour. I mean, that's basically a $195 difference. So he makes almost 3 times as much. That's crazy. Haley ordered an 11.39% raise for herself and her colleagues. She could have given raises to the bar advocates too. I mean, no argument for me. Lower our taxes 11%, and we can discuss this. And who approved this raise? If we didn't our jobs this bad, we would not get a raise. Don't argue with me. We in this comment section. Let's go. The state that paid one special prosecutor $500,000 for a second trial of one person, make it make sense. I wish I could. I really wish I could. Funny how they spend more than $1 million on Karen Reed instead. Seems like they had enough money to throw out. Welcome to California, the East Coast. I like that. Well done. Well played. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Do you think that Boston is doing the right thing? Or do you feel like Massachusetts is just running amok? I think it's really Boston as well as Massachusetts as a whole. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And you can still put wrong field in the comments if you want, but I do want to hear, what do you think about this? So let's keep that conversation going in the comments. Thank you so much. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.